So, in what was a quite unbelievable game of football, Rangers somehow managed to turn it round in what was a 7 goal thriller in the end, and it could have been even more goals had both sides taken the numerous chances that they ended up getting, both sides shooting themselves in the foot at points as well. But in the end, it is Rangers who do come away with the 3 points rather unexpectedly at the end. When it was 3-1, you would have maybe thought that Dundee would have been able to see it out, similar to when Kilmarnock were 2-0 up at Rugby Park, I suppose, kind of similar to that game as it pans out. But we'll get into it just now and how it actually all unfolded. Early on in the game, Dundee were applying some pressure, um, and then they immediately get the lead basically from Simon Murray. It's a great finish from him, full volley into the side netting. Nothing that Jack Butland could do about that one. But there's plenty he could have done about the Shaughnessy goal that comes second later in the game. It's a long throw into the box that Rangers somewhat deal with, but it comes back at them. Shaughnessy's header is a poor one, and I don't even know what happens. Jack Butland just lets it bounce off his chest straight to Simon Murray, who probably should score his second of the game. Doesn't, comes back off of him, and Shaughnessy puts it in the back of the net for 2-0. And at that point, it definitely wasn't undeserved from Dundee. They had a couple more chances through Adewume, as well, that they maybe could have buried. There was the finish that was, controversially disallowed from Dundee in my eyes. There was a tackle that the referee gave a foul on Yilmaz for. Not sure how much contact there was. He has blown the whistle before the balls end up in the back of the net, to be fair, so it's not like VAR can check it anyway. And then Tavernier puts a ball into the box and Shaughnessy scores his second goal of the game just at the wrong end of the park to make it 2-1 to Dundee at that point. Also need to point out that Dessers did have several opportunities at 2-0 and 2-1, hitting them straight at Trevor Carson. They said that Dessers had as many as 12 opportunities today, and we'll get to the important one that he ended up taking. But at half time, it's 2-1 Dundee. Rangers probably lucky to be in the game at that point at all, despite the amount of chances that Dessers was getting, because Dundee could have scored 3 or 4 themselves. We come out second half. Dessers rounds the goalkeeper for 2-2, but it's given as offside, and rightfully so. But just before that, Scott Tiffany had an opportunity, ball delivered to him at the back post. Don't know how he misses this, to be honest. It's a tap in, and he sends it wide, which, the way the game panned out, he probably has regretted as well. So the Dessers goal's chopped off. Tiffany does make it 3-1 as well later in the game, but before that, Adewume had a chance to make it 3-1. Instead of trying to take it round Butland, he did try an effort when Butland was off the line, and it just went over the bar. But Tiffany does finish off well to make it 3-1 to Dundee. And at that point, you would have been thinking that, surely they hang on to this result here. Rangers didn't really create too much after that. And then almost out of nothing, James Tavernier does score a really good strike from outside the box to make it 3-2. And then Tom Lawrence does the same not too long later to make it 3-3, goal from outside the box. And then at that point, it was end-to-end football for most of the game today, but it was end-to-end for the remaining 10 minutes at that point, really. But the two big chances, talking points wise, Simon Murray was put through on goal just before coming off, and he's pretty unlucky to see it come off the post in this case. And Adewume also hit the post as well. There was loads of chances to talk about earlier on as well in the game, from a chance cut back at the post. But Simon Murray's effort, really unlucky to come off the post. He does get subbed off afterwards. And then the winning goal comes from a lump up the park And Donnelly it is, tries to get his head to the effort to feed it back to Trevor Carson, but he just ends up flicking it on to Dessers, who controls it, and finally takes one of his chances in the game to win the game for Rangers in the end. There was one more chance for Dundee afterwards, where Tavernier let it go, and the Dundee player nipped in, couldn't quite get it back across goal. Butland done well to get something on it, but as much as obviously Rangers do come away with the win, definitely I would say one of the games of the season, if not game of the season, to watch. Really entertaining game of football, to be fair. I do think Dundee will feel hard done by not to have come away with at least a point there. I think as a neutral, a draw was probably a fair result, but you could tell at 3-3 someone was going to nick it. It just had that feeling in the air for it. So a pretty wild day of football in the Scottish, not just the Premiership, but the Championship, with Victor Wanyama getting sent off with his re-debut in Scottish football. St Mirren winning 5-1, which I did predict a St Mirren win, but for St Mirren to win 5-1, didn't predict that. Aberdeen with a 4-1 win as well, 3-0 for Hibs, 3-0 for Celtic. So high-scoring games of football today, which is always entertaining. I'm sure Sports Scene will be a good watch tonight for that. Let's see if Ross County and Dundee United can continue that trend tomorrow. Thanks to the new subscribers and new viewers as well. Please check out the other content on the channel, and I'll catch you after.